And good morning and welcome to VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Monday, June the 20th, the week of no trains, planes and automobiles, I think, because of strikes, airlines in chaos, and you can't afford to drive your car anymore. But anyway, Paul, you were at PDAC, you're now back in London. Quickly, in 30 seconds, sum up PDAC for us.
PDAC, 17,000 attendees, which was down about 20-25% from the last one that was held in 2020. They said on a press release that it was sold out, but the fact was, as if you were there, that they had actually consolidated space for both the expo companies portion as well as the services portion of the convention. Everybody's singing the blues about the sector of the markets right now, but by the same token, there isn't anybody that's given up at this point either, and the projects really look interesting in many circumstances.
Very good. All right, now let's have a little bit of a chat about lithium too. I think you want to talk about Chinese investing into Zimbabwe, but just before you mention that, I would point out that we have published a note today on Alchemy Capital, which is building the Thames Valley lithium processing plant in the UK to make a battery-grade lithium hydroxide processing plant. In my view, in our view, this is the key to opening up the whole lithium industry in the UK, both in Cornwall with potential brines out of Cornish lithium, but also in the English China clay pits with Imerys, and of course you've got British Lithium and Cornish Lithium, again both trying to do their own processing. The secret is make a lithium sulfate down there and then ship the lithium sulfate up to Tees Valley to make a battery grade lithium hydroxide. You need lots of chemicals and that sort of thing. You'll also be able to do people like Northern Lithium, who've got brines up in Durham, and one or two others can also provide feedstock to the Thames Valley lithium plant. It's a very exciting project. I think it's one that the government's going to get behind, and it's going to be exciting for the UK. That's my little bit on the research we published today. Paul, why don't you talk about what the Chinese are doing in Zimbabwe?
Yes, a big piece of news there was that the firm that bought the Bakita petalite mine there in eastern Zimbabwe by the name of Sinomines, they've also committed to another $200 million worth of investment into the Bakita operation for a new plant and newer facilities. So further consolidation and definitely investment growth in China. Sinomine also set up a joint venture with Changshin Lithium Group for further joint venture activity on other lithium and rare earth projects in Zimbabwe. And Zhejiang Huayu Cobalt had also, if people or investors remember, had purchased the Arcadia existing lithium mine just outside Harare from Australian-listed Prospect Resources on a $422 million deal not that many months ago. So definitely the Chinese are getting heavily involved in lithium in Zimbabwe.
Also, whilst on Lithium Lake Resources, I think it's congratulations maybe to Stu Crow, who has now become the interim executive chairman, whilst he recruits a new CEO. Well done, Stu. We like Stu. He's a good Aussie. Okay, what else you got, Paul?
We had a PFS released by Raffaella Resources, the ASX-listed tin tungsten explorer in Spain on the Santa Comba brownfield tin tungsten deposit there in northern Spain. PFS was based upon a 63% increase in ore reserves, and therefore the numbers don't look too bad at all here, with an IRR 32.6% here. It is going to be a small, or relatively small mine, smaller, for instance, than the one at Tungsten West up here in Devon. But the payback period, about 2.3 years on 7.5 million tons of reserves and proven and probable. So not a bad little operation here, and we'll see if they can get it continued through the DFS and then project finance.
Yeah, we also had a little bit of news out on First Tin today, didn't we, as well?
Yes, that's right. First Tin, it's looking at a high-grade mineralization that they had drilled in the Gottesberg Tin project in Germany. This initial phase of drilling and the results from 3 holes on a program of 16 drill holes that had been undertaken. This is in part to confirm a 42 million ton resource at 0.27% tin at this German project. So the numbers that had come back all looking relatively confirmatory here for the estimated mineralization from prior drilling work.
It was also tipped in the Midas column of the Mail on Sunday, which is probably why the stock is up a little bit today. Maybe worth just mentioning Base Resources, is it?
Base Resources also, that's the dual listed mineral sands miner in Kenya. They have increased or confirmed compliant resources on their Kwale project. These resources and reserves for the North Dune and the Bumamani deposits, which are satellite deposits to the main operation at South Kwale. This, with the resources here, 171 million tons, grading about 1.5%. And as such, then it extends the mine life of the Kwale operation, though these grades are not that high. They are still economic to produce, while the company's still trying to get its permits on its big Madagascar mine development for permitting.
All right, and finally, I think you better just finish off because I know you'll want to, Paul. There was a record ruby auction, wasn't there, from Gemfields?
There was. This is for rubies that they produce from the Monte Puez ruby deposits there in Mozambique, and $95.6 million raised on the virtual auction that was held, and that is a record auction total revenue. And the average price paid on these rubies just shy of $250 a credit. So for mixed quality rubies, that's actually a pretty good price there. So colored gemstone marking still looking very good.
Excellent. Let's call it a day there, Paul, and we'll speak again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.